the vibe into politics?
Well, thank you, Charles. Supporting or not supporting women in politics, I may say sometimes overtly or covertly. You know, in each of the cases, you find that men, a good thing, naturally wants to be at the top. And society has taught us in some ways, you know, give credence to some of these things. Take, for instance, our president talking about his own wife, having a role, somewhere back there, the other room. You think these things are just things you say, but it has a way of getting into our consciousness. So we begin to think of women as people who should just be in the background. And this is why we talk about, issues of masculinity. The women, the boy and the girl, they grow up together. You tell the boy, no, the girl is the person who washes the plate. Boys don't cook. He grows with that. The girl knows she's the one who should cook, wash dishes. Who says the guy can't cook? He grew with that. So politically, we have found ourselves in a place where consciously and unconsciously we begin to think that women shouldn't be there. But from time to time, a few women are beginning to rise up to the occasion. And then you're beginning to see that we may have made a lot of mistakes. I don't want to give you an example, but think about it. Our own Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, I think she's about the most celebrated woman now in the country. It's not because she's the most intelligent. She may have had the support, but at some point she needs to own the fact that yes, I'm a woman, but this is what I can do. I'm not sure how many men who can do what she has done or what she is still able to do. So sometimes it's not because we want them to be, but because what over time we have imbibed into our culture, our system, and even into our own consciousness. So we begin to think that women shouldn't be there. It is a man thing. At some other points, because we have built this consciousness, we begin to say, yes, it is our role. Women, please get behind there. We are here now, we just give her a chair somewhere behind there. But who thinks about the implications of these things?
Exactly.
Right. Now you talk about culture. Culture is a way of life.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you change culture, especially as it concerns the female form?
Now, Charles, this is it. You see, I've been in the development space for a while now, and you don't come to change a people's. For instance, you are coming to a community, you say you want them to throw away this culture. This is very bad. You don't do that. If you must tell these people to do away with their culture as a way of life, we talk about now in quotes, you must be able to come. You must come with a better culture. So please keep this one. This is better, and they need to see that this is better. So, bringing it home now to the point of discussion, we need to begin to. We want to change the culture of having less women in politics. We begin to give attention to women, child education, because it doesn't just start from these women who are just talking about girls that are just growing. Right. Election is tomorrow. The girl, she's above 18. She doesn't even have a card. Yeah. She doesn't even know she's supposed to vote, because the teacher in the school, nothing ever told her, that girl, that she's important as a girl, that she has a duty to vote and be voted for. Exactly. She's been hearing about Buhari, about all these people, and 80% of people that she knows in politics are men. So she begins to form that consciousness. It is about men. So if you want to be in politics as a lady, maybe just if you are lucky, if you put extra effort and all that. But all of us should get there. She should have that mentality from the beginning. Yes. And then she's in the secondary school, university, she begins to think, I can.
Exactly. That exactly brings us to what we are doing in our organization of engaging young females in learning some of these things. Webby is consciously doing some of these advocacies in schools, and by July we are going to be having an advocacy in the community areas to educate the rural women on voters a mindset, how to carry out their registrations, how to get in, how to stay safe, even in the period, in a situation of violence during the electoral processes. We are going to be bringing this as training formats to the women. We are consciously making efforts as a women organization to break some of these traditional barriers. In fact, just last week we had an engagement with the traditional leaders from various communities that cut across Enugu South, East, and North. And then we discussed with them on the need to include women in the cabinet system, because we realize that some of these issues even starts from the local areas. We are taking issues from the grassroots, which we know that are even the places that are less focused on. And so we engaged these traditional leaders and we made them to realize that there is a need to begin to include women even from their cabinet system, because it is from there that those women will begin to develop the confidence to go in for higher positions like local government councillors, chairman, and the rest of them. And so, having spoken to them, we engaged them in very productive conversations, and one or two or three of them were really amazed, seeing that there are some other Igwes who we have engaged with in former times that have even included women in the cabinet system. And so they told us to write a letter to them formally stating what we intend to implement, and that they are looking forward to really seeing that women come into their cabinet system as it is of essence.
Right. I mean, do you also extend this advocacy, because we still have men of this generation who think that women are not supposed to be educated?
Of course.
They'll rather educate the
Just
male
yesterday,
folks.
we engaged men in a conversation, about 20 men, telling them of the need to actually have women in the political space. And we even solicited for their views, which they rightly gave us, some of which were that the men as leaders have to enact legislations that promotes women political participation, and that husbands, brothers, and fathers need to give their women the quality support based on leadership education, financial support, and that the media has to do something by projecting the women better, idealizing their positions, rather than point critics on them whenever they find the slightest opportunity. So the men actually gave us viable points that could help us still carry out our advocacies further, and they even said that they will be able to engage in pep talks in the community areas, talking to women at the religious groups and other sectors of the locality, so that they can really see reasons why this necessitates.
That mindset, I mean, so many people have that mindset. The mindset of, when I educate a girl, her end point is going to be in another man's house. You know, that's what we hear every now and then, because then they'll rather actually educate the boys, because of course the boy's going to be home and then someone's going to come and meet him. The end